What's up, guys? How you doing? It's your homeboy Cowboy Cruck coming to you from Kabul, Afghanistan. Your war daddy, rocking the Freak jersey today, and that's what I wanted to get out, a little bit of information about the Freak. You know, we've been talking contracts. I do want to get away from that. I don't want to continue discussing that, but you know, it is the hot topic right now. It is what's going on, and to me right now, we know we have to work Ezekiel Elliott's contract, but more important, we've got to get Dak Prescott done, and also Amari Cooper. There hasn't been a lot of talk about Amari Cooper, which is kind of weird, but I think up front those two guys kind of come first. Now the situation with Ezekiel Elliott is completely different. Ezekiel Elliott does have 2 years left on his contract, but the situation with Ezekiel Elliott is he's probably only going to play another 6 or 7 years maximum. So he's trying to maximize every year he has. Now, if Dak is to wait a little while, Dak goes a little longer, waits for his contract, you know, this is his year, he has to do that. But I'm just saying, down the road, let's say Dak gets a 4-year deal or 6-year deal, and then 4 years into the deal he wants to renegotiate, that's a little different. He has time to make money. Dak's probably going to play another 15 years. You know, with him being 25 years old right now, Dak could easily, you know, play till he's almost 40 years old. We're seeing that with a lot of quarterbacks now with the new rules. So that's the reason there is a little bit more incentive as far as the players go. For Ezekiel Elliott has probably more incentive to get his deal done and move forward. And try to get a deal done now, even though he's got 2 more years left on his contract, and they could actually franchise tag him 2 years. Guys, Ezekiel Elliott is really locked down for 4 years, but are we going to have a happy Ezekiel Elliott? Are we really going to have a happy Ezekiel Elliott if he's not getting a contract that he deserves? Another thing with Ezekiel Elliott is the window that he's going to get paid, you know, 13 to 14 and a half, 15 million, is a lot smaller than Dak's window. So there's less negotiating. There's less numbers that have to be worked out. If you're looking at at Dak Prescott's contract, you're talking anywhere from maybe 30 up to 35. That's a $5 million a year window over 5 years. That's $20 million where that contract can fluctuate. You talk about Ezekiel Elliott, we do a 4-year deal. You give him $1.5 million more than what he's probably warranted or something. You're only looking at like a $6 million fluctuation there. Now this year, as I've told in the other videos, Ezekiel Elliott is only supposed to get $3 million. It's right like 2.9, 2.8, something like that. Next year he's a little over $9 million, and then the last 2 years the franchise tag right now would be $11 million. 11.2 actually. So you're looking 2 years down the road, if they franchise tagged him, you're around $12 million for 2 years. You're not going to have a happy Ezekiel Elliott if you do that, and the reason is he only has, like I said, another 6 or 7 years to play. So if a running back's got to get his money when he can. Moving on from that, one more thing on the Ezekiel Elliott thing. Both sides are holding a deck of cards. I mean, both sides are stacked. You got Ezekiel Elliott sitting on one side of the table. You know, if you're playing poker, Ezekiel Elliott's on one side of the table. He's got a good hand. He's saying, hey, I'm the #1 running back in the league, and I'm making $3 million this year. I've only got 6 or 7 years left in the league. I need to get paid. I can't play a year, you know, and bust my ass and wear the tires down for $3 million. If I'm going to wear these tires down, I need to get paid. And that kind of makes sense, you know what I'm saying, because of the short lifespan of a running back. On the other side, the Cowboys are there. They're saying, hey, we got you under deal. We could lock you down for 4 years and pay you what we owe you, and that's it. $3 million, $9 million, franchise tag, and then he's already sitting at 27 years old. You know, maybe he only has a few years left in the NFL. So that's why Ezekiel Elliott's trying to get his money now. He knows that time frame, the age, and I'm sorry about the wind, guys. It's kind of blowing the camera a little bit. I can see it moving. But I'm going to move on from that. The other thing I wanted to get to is our schedule for the preseason, and not the games. I'm talking about OTAs, everything going on this week. Right now, the Cowboys have no action until the 25th. The 25th of July, I got the full schedule. I'm going to go over that with you real quick. The 25th of July, the Cowboys depart for Oxnard, California. They have a day of rest on the 26th. The 27th through the 30th, they have our first practices. Guys, we're going to get camera on, footage. Tune into NFL Network. You know, they'll have the footage going. The Cowboys will be on there for sure. So 3 days of practice. Then you have July 31st, last day of the month. Players have a day off. And I get paid that day. Salary day, baby. Got to do it. Hey, they getting their money. I got to get mine. You know what I'm saying? In the war zone, you got to do your thing. Then the 1st to the 3rd of August, again, 3 days of practice. The 1st through the 3rd, and then on the 4th at 5:30, and I'm sure there'll be some live footage on this. Again, let me say the date: the 4th of August at 5:30 Central. That's Central, Dallas Cowboys time. They have the white-blue scrimmage. So defense, offensive scrimmage. You'll have the first team and second teams coming in, rotating in and out. We get some looks at these quarterbacks and some of the younger guys. We got guys. Some of you guys aren't down with preseason. Oh, it's just preseason, man. That's when you evaluate your talent, man. That's when you find out what these guys. You really don't find out what you got till you put them on the field. You put them in game situations. You get them going up against these quarterbacks. You get to see what Cooper Rush can do. You know, his 4th year now here as a backup quarterback, 3rd year as a backup quarterback. Excuse me. Those things, you know, you get to see what we have as a backup. You know, we'll get to see what these running backs look like if Ezekiel Elliott does hold out. Maybe we go into the season a game or two. You know, if this gets ugly, maybe if these running backs in preseason look good, and if we can pick up somebody that can pound it between the tackles, pick up a free agent to maybe relieve the situation if Ezekiel Elliott does hold out. If we go, if we're 3-0 and Ezekiel Elliott's still sitting out, now the pressure's on him. And I hate to say that, but guys, it's a business, and it works like that. That's just the way it is. If he holds out and we're 2-0, hey, or if we're 0-2, now you go to the table. Now Ezekiel Elliott has more chips on his side. But that's the way it is. Okay, that's the 4th of August, guys. The 4th of August, 5:30, white-blue scrimmage. Then the 6th through the 8th, the 5th, they have a day off for rest. The 6th to the 8th is practice again. The 9th, they travel to San Francisco to get ready for the first real preseason game against the San Francisco 39ers. And you know that's going to be a good game to watch. First game of the season. You guys know I did a bunch of videos on Jalen Hurd. It was a guy I really wanted for the Cowboys. A lot of guys were expecting him to go in the 4th, 5th round. And I called, hey, man, that guy, I don't think he'll be there in the 3rd. And he wasn't. He went late 2nd round. San Francisco got him, 6'4". And hey, and this goes back to the Ezekiel Elliott story. The guy was a running back at Tennessee. He was a contender for the Heisman, a highly contender for a Heisman at a sophomore. He ran the tread off those tires as a sophomore. He came back the next year. He said, I want to be a wide receiver. He was 6'4", 230 pounds. I want to be a wide receiver. They said, no, are you crazy? You're our damn Heisman Trophy running back. They also had Alvin Kamara, who was splitting running back with him that late part of his running back career. That was another reason he wanted to go to wide receiver. But the main reason was he was looking at it and saying, I can play wide receiver for 10, 11, 12 years. There's no way I can do what I'm doing right now to my body as a running back for another 7 or 8 years into the NFL through my college career and all those things. So he switched to wide receiver. San Francisco got him with their 2nd pick. As you guys know, they got Deebo Samuel, so we will see Deebo Samuel and Jalen Hurd, 2 guys the Cowboys were hot for in the first preseason game. So traveling to San Francisco on 9 August, 10 August, first preseason game against San Francisco. Then we have a day off on the 11th. Practice, let's see, the 12th through the 15th, they have early practices, and then they depart for Hawaii. That's a game I'm going to miss. As you guys know, I told you I might be there. I did interview for a job in Hawaii, and it just didn't work out for me. It wasn't a place I really wanted to go anyways. The salary there, they pay you like a stateside job. It's something I really wasn't interested in, and there's a lot of people banging for those jobs, kind of to take kind of like a federal holiday. When you work a federal job like I work, those jobs open up. Everybody interviews for them. They say, I'm going to go there, hang out for a year and transfer back to Houston or transfer back to, Fort Belvoir, Virginia, or wherever they're at. So it was a game I thought I might be at, but not going to make the Hawaii game. I'll get to watch that on TV. And then August 16th, they have a prep day. August 17th, that preseason game, the prep day is for the preseason game against Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to cut it off right there because that's where our season starts, man. We got to pay these Rams back, even though it's a preseason game. We did have the 5th best running game in the league last year, and even though they lit us up in the running game in that playoff game, I still feel our run game is solid, and I think it got better this offseason with Tristan Hill, and we'll get to see some of that. We're really deep at defensive line, so we will get to see some Tristan Hill. Even though he's a first-round draft pick, a lot of times your first-round draft picks don't play a lot in the preseason, but we're so deep, you might as well get him out there and test him. You know what I'm saying? So those things are coming. We'll get to see our safeties here in the preseason. There's going to be a big safety rotation because we're deep at safety. That's the great thing, guys. We don't have a standout safety, and other than DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn, we got some questions there on the line, but those guys are going to get highly rotated in the preseason, and the reason is we're deep. So if you have some injuries, you have those little nagging injuries where they have to sit out a game, you sit them out a game and you got plenty of guys in the back there. With us having a 90-man roster right now, that should work fine. We go through our preseason games, and then August 6th is the deadline for the players' contract to report to their clubs. And again, right there on that one, if Ezekiel Elliott does not show up by August 6th, the Cowboys can extend his contract another year. So he has to report by August 6th. This is the deadline we're looking at right now for Ezekiel Elliott. Like I'm saying, if he doesn't report by August 6th, this is something in his contract, his rookie contract. If he doesn't report by August 6th, they can extend him another year. That means he would get a $3 million this year, $9 million next year, and I think that third year would also be a franchise tag, so they could franchise tag him 3 years, guys. So there's some pressure on Ezekiel Elliott as well. The Cowboys are holding a good set of cards because the way the running back, even though he's the 4th pick, the way his contract is set up, it just works out that way. It's a longer contract. On the guys that are picked later, 4th, 5th round, they give them shorter contracts because if they ball out, they're not making that much money. They're not making much money on their rookie contract. So if they really play well, they give them a shorter contract so they can renegotiate a little earlier because their salaries are already so low. So I'm going to end the video with it there, guys. Another rooftop video. I hadn't done one of these since last year. A lot of you guys have been asking for these, and I really enjoyed doing them. I just got to move a few things upstairs and get the audio going. I hope this came out okay. I hope the wind didn't bother you guys too much. Hope you're not seasick from the camera going back and forth. But hey, get this guy signed. I want him with the team. Let's keep everybody happy. Let's keep this train rolling. We're rolling there's one destination, baby, and that's the Super Bowl. So let's get this done. Cowboy Cruck out from Kabul, Afghanistan. Peace.